Hey everyone, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Whether you're a regular or joining us for the first time, we're really glad to have you here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, the skies over Israel are shaking, not just from air raid sirens or rockets, but from a quieter kind of fear creeping through the heart of the country's tech industry. This time, it's not a military base under attack. It's something far more symbolic, the offices of Microsoft. A direct hit, not just on buildings, but on global confidence in what's off-limits in modern warfare. We're covering it all, from the physical damage, to the cyber fallout, to the global response that's now putting the spotlight on a growing tech war in the Middle East. Part 1. Iran's attack on a tech facility. According to The Guardian, Iran launched ballistic missiles at the Be'er-Sheva area, specifically targeting a tech zone that includes Microsoft's offices and R&D center. Fires broke out in multiple streets nearby. Authorities say there were no casualties, but property damage was severe. This incident shows how the conflict is now spilling over into the tech sector, not just military targets. Initial impact on civilian infrastructure. Reuters reports that the missiles breached Israeli air defenses, setting vehicles and buildings around Microsoft's offices on fire. Emergency responders reported a few minor injuries but no deaths. The Be'er-Sheva Tech Center had to shut down, and locals are now feeling vulnerable, even in areas once considered safe. Part 2. Israeli military response. According to the Guardian Times, the Israeli army responded with airstrikes on Tehran, targeting nuclear and military facilities, including SPND and Iran's nuclear research compound. The Israeli government said this was to stop Iran's missile and cyber attacks, but these strikes triggered a new wave of retaliatory attacks from Iran. Iran's counterattacks, as reported by the Times, involved firing missiles at several Israeli cities, including Tel Aviv and Haifa, which ended up injuring over 240 people. One of the earlier strikes even hit the Soroka Medical Center. Air raid sirens wailed across civilian areas, and while Israel did respond defensively, some missiles still got through. The Economic Times reported that Soroka Medical Center, which is the largest hospital in southern Israel, was damaged by an Iranian missile. Medical services were interrupted for dozens of patients, and some had to be moved to lower floors for safety. There were dozens of injuries, but the hospital is continuing to monitor the situation. Honestly, the fact that even civilian health facilities are being hit is deeply concerning. According to Wikipedia, the June 16th attack killed and injured dozens in Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Bnei Brak. Schools and residential buildings were damaged, causing widespread disruption to daily life. At least 5 people were killed and 90 injured in Bnei Brak alone. Residents were forced to evacuate, and fear continues to grow. Part 4. Cyber and digital attacks. The Guardian and previous reports confirm that a massive data breach hit Israel's defense system. An Iranian hacking group claiming to be highly specialized leaked military and personal documents online. This added even more pressure on top of the physical attacks. It's a whole new level of warfare, a digital front line, and now many Israelis are worried about data security, not just physical safety. Part 5. Diplomatic reactions and G7 involvement. As reported by The Guardian, European foreign ministers from the United Kingdom, France, and Germany held emergency talks with Iran in Geneva, pushing for de-escalation. The United States gave Iran a 2-week ultimatum, either choose dialogue or face possible military action. While efforts to ease tensions are growing, political and strategic interests are still making diplomacy very difficult. The world is starting to worry this could spiral out of control. Part 6. America's role and rising political pressure. The Times reports that President Trump gave Iran a 2-week deadline to negotiate or risk United States military intervention, though he also stressed the need for a peaceful solution. Meanwhile, allied countries have started evacuating diplomats and staff from the region. The pressure is mounting, both at home and globally. So, The Guardian and The Times are reporting that Russia has warned if Iran's supreme leader were killed, it could, open Pandora's box. Meanwhile, China has come out publicly supporting Iran diplomatically and is urging restraint. This really adds a major geopolitical twist and honestly raises concerns that the conflict could go global. At this point, the roles of these three powers are now absolutely critical to avoiding a full-on war. Finally, as reported by The Guardian, the United Nations is warning about the growing risk of terrorism targeting global infrastructure. This is no longer just a regional crisis, it's, well, becoming a worldwide security issue. In Gaza, things are, falling apart fast. The ongoing conflict has completely crippled water supplies and humanitarian aid. On the other hand, the growing instability in Iran and Israel is also threatening global energy routes. International authorities are watching closely, worried that this could lead to a spike in oil prices. This crisis isn't just military, it's a humanitarian emergency. In Israel, people are terrified. Long lines are forming as families rush to evacuate into shelters. Public events are being canceled, schools are closed, and economic activity has slowed down to a crawl. People no longer feel safe as missiles and bombs get dangerously close. It's becoming clear that civilians, not just governments, are paying the price of this war. According to Israeli trauma services, there's actually been a 350% increase in people seeking psychological help since the ballistic missile strikes started. The most common symptoms? Well, panic attacks, anxiety, and trembling, especially among the elderly, children, and families. People just can't sleep. Many are deeply traumatized. And, experts warn this could lead to long-term mental health issues, mass migration, or even social unrest. The Israeli government has imposed strict media censorship on both citizens and news outlets. They say it's to maintain morale, but critics argue it raises serious concerns about transparency. Censorship now also extends to social media platforms like X, which was formerly Twitter, and Snapchat. Some are questioning whether this secrecy is really protecting public safety or just silencing dissent. It's been reported that President Trump spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu for about an hour and 20 minutes, discussing potential United States military support. Trump reportedly said that Iran must surrender unconditionally. He also mentioned Ayatollah Khamenei's location, and placed F-16s, F-35s, and aircraft carriers in a state of readiness across the Middle East. But so far, direct United States military involvement is still under intense review. Analysts warn that if a so-called military tsunami kicks off, the results could be devastating. We're talking massive economic fallout, a drawn-out war, and major social divides inside the United States. There are already comparisons being made to Iraq and Afghanistan, and once again, there's no clear exit strategy in sight. The United Nations and European nations are really pushing for a practical diplomatic approach, so the world is now watching to see, will diplomacy win, or are we heading for a full-blown war? According to the Economic Times and Wikipedia, Iran is now using its Fateh-1 hypersonic missile, which is both fast and extremely agile, capable of flying at Mach 15. This missile reportedly broke through the Iron Dome in the 11th wave of attacks. It's now seen as a serious threat to Israel's modern defense systems. Western powers are paying close attention to the rapid evolution of Iranian missile technology. If this is confirmed, it could lead to a rethink of current defense strategies. Reuters and CNN report that the attack on Microsoft's offices was deliberate, allegedly because of the company's role in supporting Israeli military intelligence and AI systems. This puts tech companies on the front lines of psychological and strategic warfare. The strike sent a clear message: even civilian IT professionals and tech firms aren't safe anymore. Now, global tech companies are getting worried. They may become targets in this geopolitical war. We've officially hit a tipping point. Physical war, cyber warfare, and infrastructure sabotage are all happening at the same time. With G7 diplomacy, Russian and Chinese warnings, and growing global pressure, we're in a moment unlike any other. The world is holding its breath. Is this the start of an all-out war, or the last chance for a ceasefire? The next moves by world powers will shape the future of the region, and possibly the world. The attacks on tech hubs like Microsoft in Israel are a bold sign. We've entered a new phase of warfare. This is no longer just about tanks and soldiers. It's about data, servers, and digital systems that control how we live. When tech offices are reduced to rubble, and servers are targeted like military bases, it's a sign. Nowhere is really safe. The world is watching. Is this just a passing moment, or the beginning of the most dangerous digital war in modern history? Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe to X News, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.